In this video, I'd like to take you through the steps of adding a solid color to a basic material. Now, it might not sound like much, but there's a few important things you're going to want to know in order to make that skin as efficiently as possible. Your primary controls are going to be the color swatches found under the basic parameters section in the material settings. Specifically for the main body color, you'll be working with the ambient and diffuse color swatches. Let's start by first unlocking those two controls. Now, when setting out to build a solid colored surface, I personally always start by clicking on the diffuse swatch. Reason being is that it's the diffuse component of the material that controls the color of the object in areas that are lit. Now, when you click on the swatch, the Color Selector dialog box will open. This is what you'll use to control your color. The controls are divided into two sides, with a series of 6 color ramps on the right and a kind of rainbow-colored chart or diagram on the left. Either side can be used in reaching the material color you're aiming for. Let's start with the ramps on the right-hand side. Now, the name of each ramp is listed to the left of the ramp itself. You'll see the top 3 ramps as being labeled red, green, and blue. Each of the ramps has a white handle that can be used to control the amount of that given color. Pulling a handle to the right adds that color, while moving it to the left removes that particular color. When a ramp has been changed, that change reflects on both the color swatch in the lower right-hand corner of the Color Selector dialog and on the selected sample slot in the material editor. Any ramp value can be taken to 0 by simply right-clicking on that particular spinner. Settings can also be changed by typing in specific values, but you'll most often find yourself using the handles to control the color ramps. Now, what might be a little confusing is look at the colors in the ramps for red, green, and blue. Now, here's the easiest way to understand how those top 3 ramps work. To create a specific color, you want to find that color in one of those top 3 ramps. When you do, you're going to want to move the handle in that ramp in the direction of that particular color. So for an example, if I wanted to make a light green, I'd grab the green ramp handle and move it to the right. If I then wanted to make that brighter green, I'd grab the blue ramp handle and push that to the left. See how that works? And one more example, the color yellow could be attained by grabbing the handle in the red ramp and pushing it to the far right. The 4th ramp, hue, gives you the opportunity of creating a specific color by simply clicking your mouse on that color in the ramp. So for an example, I could make blue by clicking on the blue color, green by moving over and clicking on that, or red by going to the far right and clicking there. Down below that, your 5th ramp is your saturation, which controls the amount of color in the color. You can kind of see that by the colors in the ramp itself. So when the ramp handle is set far to the right, you have a fully saturated color, while pulling the handle gradually to the left represents a color absent of color. The value ramp controls the lightness and darkness of a color. You can see that directly again by the colors in the ramp. So a light color is controlled by moving the handle to the right, whereas a darker version of that color is achieved by then sliding that handle to the left. The controls on the left-hand side of the dialog give you the opportunity to select your color by clicking in the rainbow chart and moving your mouse over to the desired color. You can then further change that color by using the whiteness and blackness sliders on opposite sides of the chart. The Color Selector dialog also offers an eyedropper that allows you to pick a color from anywhere within the view. This comes in especially handy when wanting to match a specific color that's already in your scene. If you want to take things back to the color that was up when the controls were first opened, simply click on Reset. Okay, before we close things up, let's settle in on a light blue. Now, look at the colors in the top 3 ramps. To create light blue, I'll grab the blue handle and pull it to the right, then take out a little of the red. If I want to make it a little richer, I'll simply add a little saturation. Let's say we're happy with that, now click OK. Now, where the diffuse color swatch controls the color of the object in areas that are lit, the ambient swatch controls the color of the object but in areas that are unlit, the non-illuminated areas of the surface, in other words. So because of that, the ambient color is typically a darker version of the diffuse. To get there, let's first match up the 2 colors by dragging the diffuse swatch onto the ambient. When the option box opens, click on Copy. Now we can open up the ambient and darken the color by dragging the value to the left. So that's pretty much what you need to know about controlling a material's main body color. Take some time to practice the various options, then choose the color changing techniques that work best for you.